Hello, today on How To, I'm going to share with you how to get your first manicure and or pedicure. I don't know when I got my first Mani-Pedi as they call them. I might have been in Chicago with some work colleagues around 2008. But you know, you don't do it until you do it, and then you do it and it's not that big of a deal. But some people just have never done it and it's really freaky and they don't know what it's going to be like. So if that's you or somebody that you know, this video is going to give you a little bit of what to expect about getting your first manicure or pedicure. So first off, what is what? If you've never heard of it before, this is a manicure. It's basically just getting your nails painted. That's like the simplest way of thinking about it if you've never done it before. And a pedicure is when you get your toes painted, which hopefully you can see. Here's my little toes down there. So when you hear people say like Mani-Pedi, it just means you're getting both a manicure and a pedicure in the same experience. You can choose one or the other. You can choose both. You can get one day and the other one the next. Sometimes they do them at the same time because when you get them done, like when you get your nails done, it takes it a while to dry and they kind of spend a lot of time on it. So if you start like moving around really fast, then it will still be wet and then it'll get all smudgy and it's not ideal. So it's kind of nice to do both at one time because then you can sit there and both are drying while you're just sort of hanging out and chatting with your friend or just taking a relaxation break or drinking some water or something. So that's kind of why. One of the reasons I think they do them all at the same time. So when you go, one thing to note, you can use Yelp in most places to find a salon or Google Maps, whatever your review site is of choice. I really like to read the reviews. Sometimes you'll find a place that's 3.5 stars, that's totally fine, but I think like the reviews are really helpful. Some of the things that you want to keep an eye out for, or like the ones that I don't go to, are ones where people share like, I bled. Like basically they're gonna, kind of like make your nails really nice underneath, and they do some work on your cuticles, which is like this little part right here, the top of the nail, kind of the skin part. And so they like trim stuff, which is totally fine because some of it's dead skin, but at some places, or if somebody's not very experienced, they can accidentally like nick your skin and it can hurt a little bit, and then also you can bleed, which is not great and actually really shouldn't happen. So you do not want that to happen. If that's happening, something has gone wrong. And if they don't say it, like, you should know, like, this should not occur. So I always kind of scan to see, like, are people reporting that kind of stuff? Some people are really concerned on, like, clean tools and things like that. So just read the reviews and see what you care about. And I also like to find a place that's not too expensive. So I always like look at the menu or look at what people say about price and kind of decide that way. Sometimes you'll have a regular manicure versus a spa manicure. And for a spa thing, they sometimes like give you an extra hand massage or give you a little back rub or other things, or put your hands in a different kind of bubbly water bath before they do the work or whatever. So like spa doesn't mean like you have only certain colors or something. It's just like a fancier experience, which you may or may not care about. When you get there, and you can also choose a spa pedicure, by the way, which they'll give you like a calf massage and maybe do different stuff with your feet, like okay, whatever it is. When you get there, you're gonna walk in, and you can make an appointment in advance. Some studios also take walk-ins, so you can try it out, and if they don't have space, who cares? And if they do, you can still say no, or I'm not interested anymore, or I'll come back later, or whatever you wanna say. When you go, you're gonna walk in, and one of the first experiences is there's a wall of different nail polish. And so one of the hardest parts for me is always choosing what color to get, which is pretty tough. There'll be like a million colors. You can ask them, but if they chose colors for everybody, they'd probably be exhausted. So you just have to kind of know, like, you can either look at other people's nails and find a color that you like, or just trust yourself and choose something, and if you hate it, you can always get it changed. So that's what you want to do. You go in, you choose a color from the rack. Usually you grab the physical nail polish and you kind of carry it with you, and you'll take it to the place that you go, and you choose what services you want. If it's a pedicure, they're going to sit you usually in like a soft chair that has like a water bath for your feet. And so then you put your feet in there and kind of soak them a little bit to get everything all nice and moisturized and mushy. And then if you're doing a manicure or manicure first, depending on the place, they might start with pedicure or start with manicure. You'll sit more like at a normal chair at some kind of a table, and usually the person will sit across from you, and then they'll work on your hands. So you'll like put your hands on a towel, there will be like a little bowl of warm water, and you like put your fingers in the bowl of warm water to kind of get the process started. So so you do want to give your color to the stylist or the person that you're working with, and then they will know which color to use, and you don't have to fuss or fiddle around with it later. And then, yeah, you kind of go through the process. Some people like to grab a magazine while they're having their feet done, and so there will often be magazines there, so that's something you can do, be on your phone if you want to, or sometimes I just sit there. A lot of places will offer you water or tea, something like that, so that could be kind of a fun thing. And then one thing I was really worried about too at the beginning was being ticklish. I'm really ticklish on my feet. I feel that my left foot is more ticklish than my right foot, which is really strange. And there are some phases like of a pedicure where they will like sand, basically file the bottom of your foot to like get all the, you know, freshen it up or whatever it is, and that can be really ticklish. So for a while I would try and pretend I was not ticklish, but then my reflexes would kick in and I'd almost kick somebody in the face, which is not ideal. I never did it, but that was the worry. So finally I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna tell them, and usually they're like super nice and they're like, oh yeah, everybody's ticklish, but you like let them know, and then if your foot kind of like jerks suddenly, then you're not as nervous and it can be pretty relaxed. And then just keep breathing and you'll be totally fine. And then once you're done, a couple things, you want to bring flip-flops or some open-toed, you know, sandal kind of shoes that aren't going to mess with your toenails so that they can dry more. And you also want to plan enough time to just stay. Sometimes they'll put a little fan over your nails and your feet to dry it. And it can also be nice to take out your method of payment in advance and just have that ready so that you don't have to go fumbling through your purse to get whatever method of payment at the end once your nails are still drying or they're like still a little bit tender. And then the last thing that I learned yesterday with a friend is like she was looking for her method of payment and it smudged some of the nails, like it kind of got like smashed a little bit because it was still wet, and we sat there for a long time letting it dry, but it just didn't dry. So one of the things I didn't realize you could do is if it smudges, you could say, oh no, you know, and ask them like, would you be willing to redo this one? Because it kind of sucks to like, you just paid for this experience and then the thing is not even working. Yesterday, when she said that, she was like, okay, just this one. But she had 3 other fingers that were like kind of smashed up, and I was like, they're gonna redo it. They're here anyway. It was not a busy day. But then what we learned was amazing. They actually have this really crazy like thing you could paint over it that would basically fix the whole thing. It would like smooth it all out. I have no idea how it worked, but basically do not hesitate if something happens when you're paying, especially, to just say like, hey, would you be willing to redo this, or can you help me fix this before you leave? Some people also, if it chips within like the first week or something, will go back and just ask them to redo it. You can almost always pay a couple bucks to have a nail redone, so don't worry about, you know what I mean, like if something goes wrong, don't worry about it, just you can remedy it that way. And I'm trying to think what else. After a couple weeks it will probably wear off or go away or chip a little bit, and you can either take it off at home if it's just a normal nail polish, like with nail polish remover. You can go back and have it taken off, you can switch up your color, but a couple weeks is basically as long as I've had them last. And you kind of want to do that because chipped nails is like over time it's like looks less, you know, like you have your stuff together, and so that could kind of be a good thing to think about. There is a whole world of gel, and there's like a lot of different complicated, exciting nail stuff that you can do. You don't have to. There's like the idea of a French manicure, which is like kind of skin color and then white tips, and you can Google that, and nail art can be very popular now and costs a couple bucks a hand or a finger or something like that. So there's a lot of different options, but this is the basics of what you need. If you do gel, you will need to have somebody specially remove it afterward, in my experience. So gel will last longer probably, but then it also has to kind of be specially removed, and I think it might be a little bit harder in your underlying nail. I don't recommend always having your nails painted because it can be not that great, I think, for the nails underneath, but I guess a good salon will probably have like better kinds of nail polish than you might just pick up at Walgreens or something like that. So yeah, those are the basics of what you need to know. You can call ahead or just walk in, and you should bring cash if you want to, because it's customary to tip. I like to tip 20% because I think, you know, 15 to 25, whatever, but I tip 20%, and I like to bring cash because often they will require you to pay tips in cash to people for whatever reasons, and so that's nice. And sometimes they just take cash overall. So get your cash first, have it out, you know what I mean? You pay them at the end, but you'll have it ready and you'll have everything you need. Good luck and enjoy.